Welcome back to Utah Treasure Hunting. I hope you're ready for clue number 2 on our first big hunt with the 10 pounds of money in a treasure chest hidden somewhere out in the Utah wilderness, because here it comes. It goes like this. Tucked away in the corner, I'm lower than low with so many ways to go. The compass heartily helps. If you happened to think of the right location based on the first clue, then this one could be very helpful to reaffirm that you're in the right general area. All right, for our bonus clue in this video today, I'm gonna read you a chapter plus 2 paragraphs of the next chapter from the connection equation, which I told you about in the last book, all about how to create deep connection, something I'm passionate about, and you should be too. And I told you last time that half of this book is a story of a fictional newspaper reporter in Chicago, Jane. And let me introduce you to her. This is chapter 2, and this is where you first meet her. And don't be afraid, because this chapter is not long, it's just a little bit over a page. Chapter title is Assignment. "Consarn it, people," Larry shouted through the office. "We need a human interest piece for the Sunday edition, and it's gotta be good, better than good." The various reporters and section chiefs kept their eyes studiously glued to their computer screens, hoping not to get noticed by the senior editor and assigned extra work. "Jane," Larry shouted, selecting her from across the room, despite her best efforts to crouch down and hide behind her monitor. "What are you working on?" "I'm up to my neck in the suicide surge." "Not good enough. We need something warm and fuzzy, something to show the Trib they're not the only ones who can go viral with a fluff piece." Well, that explains it, thought Jane. The Tribune ran a story 2 days ago revealing the human side of sanitation workers, and it had caught on via social media all around the world. It presented a rather ingenious blend of facts, humor, disgust, irony, and the tough but tender sarcasm of Chicago's garbage collectors and their bizarre, you can't make this stuff up, experiences while picking up trash. Now Larry's pride or ego or competitive attitude, as he called it, needed to do the same in order to prove that his paper wasn't second rate to the big guys in their fancy building down by the river. Jane tried to think of an excuse or some way to deflect Larry's attention away from her and on to someone else, but she hesitated a moment too long. "Go find it," Larry commanded. "Figure out what people want and give it to them. We're all counting on you, Jane. Knock it out of the park." Great, thought Jane, there goes my week. It was only Tuesday morning, which would have left her plenty of time if only she knew what she was looking for. She'd better figure it out quick. But whatever, it would be fine. This was just part of the job, and this sort of thing didn't happen too often. Her suicide story could wait for a few more days. It was mostly filled with facts and quotes from mental health professionals, and those wouldn't change by next week. "And I'd like to see a draft of the suicide piece by tomorrow morning," Larry added. Jane slumped in her chair and sighed. It was going to be a long week. And then there are some discussion quotes and questions for you to apply this to yourself and ask some questions, get you involved in the reading. And then let me read you just the first 2 paragraphs of chapter 3, What People Want. Because you are an intelligent reader and because you know the book's title, you already know that Jane is on her way to discovering that what people want is deep, genuine, lasting, meaningful, supportive, satisfying, high-quality human connection. This fact cannot be overstated nor disputed. Too many long-term studies from all over the world confirm the intrinsic human need for healthy, vulnerable relationships as the most important ingredient of long-term happiness and overall life satisfaction. Now, in that last paragraph, there may have been a word that frightened you, and in a way, you would be right to be scared. Do you pick it out? It starts with a V. The word is vulnerable. And that's right. If you want to have, and I'm going to go off on this just for a second, because on one hand, I'm here to give you money and have some fun and let you solve some puzzles, and it's cool, right? But on the other hand, like all my other pursuits, wind down to trying to change the world for the better. And these books that I write are an enormous part of it. I taught college writing for 15 years. I've written 20 books. I published 20 books already. So I've got some skills I want to put into use, because the one thing that changes the world more than anything else is ideas. So I work, I study, I think through things, I talk to people, I gather these great ideas, I deconstruct the most important ideas in the world, and then try and lay them out in a fun to read and learn, easily accessible way. But there remains this fact that if you want to have really good quality relationships, either develop new ones or improve the ones you've already got, you're gonna have to get vulnerable. Let me tell you a little bit about this word. It is scary at first, and that's because they matter. If there's something that you're afraid of, you can know with almost certainty that that thing is important to you. So let your fears guide you toward what you're looking for and what you want, but then don't follow them. Okay, fear is an important clue. And if you treat it right and be vulnerable, open up, share some things that you really care about. Try having some conversations. And maybe you already do this. If you do, it's great. I know a lot of people who do. You know, when I meet people traveling around the world and around the country and stuff, I really enjoy those conversations. It's almost always a great conversation. But one thing that I hear repeatedly, I can think of a few cases. One recently, met a couple, we just sat and talked for like 2 hours, and they're like, it's been a long time since we've had this good of a conversation. I have that kind of good quality conversation all the time, and I think one reason is because I am willing to get vulnerable, say things that matter to me, and it is hard at first, but it's so worthwhile. So give it a try. If you want some help with it, check out all the books from the University of Life, uoflife.com/books. It's baked in there. Next video, I'll probably tell you about a Christmas trilogy I wrote a while ago. Quite popular, so it sold tens of thousands of copies. In a way, it's this story, but really it's kind of like the story is a vehicle to teach these really useful lessons about empowerment and stuff like that. Anyway, I've gone on long enough about that. Thanks for listening. I hope you noticed that clue in there. I tried to make it a little bit easy to guess what it is. Jot down, for now, you know, it's not enough to find your way all the way to the treasure, but it's definitely enough to have a strong suspicion about the right area where this clue is hidden. Let me read you clue number 2 one more time. Tucked away in the corner, I'm lower than low with so many ways to go. The compass heartily helps. And as more clues come out, they can either confirm or maybe disprove your suspicions. I really don't want to make this a frustrating, impossible to guess kind of thing. So we'll just keep doing that. Remember also that if you subscribe and hit the little bell, you're going to get a notification of this video 2 days before the general public gets to see it. And also if you do subscribe, and if you get your friends to subscribe and just share this wherever you can, once we get a bunch of subscribers here, I'll get serious about getting some sponsors and get them to give you a whole lot more money. So that's how it works. I wish I was as rich as the other guys, John and Dave. So generous, they're awesome, right? And some of the other hunts going on, but we can make this work. So I'll help you. Until then, we'll have fun. I will see you next time. Until then, happy hunting, and remember to treasure the moments.